following leaked audio of a phone call between House Republican leadership regarding January 6th, one of the House Republicans named hit back. So now here's some context. On Tuesday evening, CNN obtained a phone call between House Republican leaders Kevin McCarthy and Steve Scalise. Now, this is also involved others, and it regarded rhetoric from Representative Matt Gaetz and other Republicans like Mo Brooks, for example, in the wake of the January 6th Capitol riots. So now, here's what one of them said, and I'm going to show you, play you some audio later. Here's one of them. He said, "So I'm calling Matt Gaetz. I'm explaining to him, I don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to have some other people call him too. But the nature of what, if I'm getting a briefing, I'm going to get another tomorrow. This is serious shit to cut this out." Okay. Gaetz, of course, is one of the ones that had been continuing to spread conspiracies about the 2020 election being stolen. He, of course, supported Capitol rioters. He toured along with Marjorie Taylor Greene to try to get the Capitol rioters out of jail. And so that call appears to be moments before McCarthy stated that certain members of his party need to be kicked off social media for making these certain statements. And so I'm gonna present some audio here from the call. This, again, these are CNN tapes. Take a look.
It's the kicking and taking names thing is the one that I've seen the most from people. I didn't watch his speech, but that's a number of members sent that to me, so that he used that term.
And Louis said, like, we need to fight or something, right? Didn't he say something a couple days out that was horrendous?
It was something like that, yes. It was incendiary.
I know the Dems are in a very strong position right now to drive a lot of things, but our members have got to start paying attention to what they say, too, and you can't put up with that type of...
All right, so, look, I mean, you heard what was in the call. It's incendiary. They need to stop saying this kind of stuff. They were saying it before January 6th. That's what led up to it. It's basically an admission there that, oh, it's kind of our fault. We egged this on, and now it looks really bad for us. So damage control, absolute damage control. And so he's telling him, we need to stop with this. We need to stop with this whole thing. Scrub the tweets. Get rid of all of this stuff. Yeah. So there you go. Now, the reason, of course, is not necessarily because they cared about democracy. I think it's because of damage control. It's they were worried that it's going to blow up in their face and get them in trouble. And of course, it kind of has, in a way. Now, going back to Matt Gaetz here. So now part of that conversation involved him. And so here's what he said. Quote, "These members calling out other members, that stuff's got to stop. The tension is too high. The country is too crazy." Okay, let me just stop there. It's not the country that's too crazy. It's your side that's crazy. It's the Republican Party that is completely going off the rails. Insane. With conspiracy theories. But he continues, he said, I don't want to look back and think we caused something. I don't want to play politics with any of that. No, I'm not interested in that because it's really, really difficult to ignore, to defend. Sorry. Very difficult to defend this stuff that we're saying, so we would rather ignore it. I don't want to play politics with any of that. Now, here's House Minority Whip Steve Scalise. He was speaking, he had also called out Gaetz with another member, chiming in to say that he had made comments about Representative Liz Cheney, now the vice chairwoman of the House committee investigating the January 6th attack. So, now, he said, this is serious stuff. It has to stop. It's potentially illegal what he is doing. McCarthy agreed, saying Gaetz was, quote unquote, putting people in jeopardy. And he doesn't need to be doing this. We saw what people would do in the Capitol, and these people came prepared with rope with everything else. So right there, that was the private position of Kevin McCarthy and Steve Scalise, basically admitting, yeah, that's our guys, and they were violent, and they were going to do worse. They were planning to do worse, and it could have been much worse. So, why don't we not do that? Why don't we, distance ourselves from the people who are saying these things and have our members stop doing that? Let's stop. Now, of course, later on, as Republicans do, they fold to daddy. Why? It's because they're all beta male. That's right. They're beta males. They're looking for an alpha. They're looking for someone to, they want to kiss somebody's ass really, really desperately. They're authoritarians at heart. And Donald Trump happens to be, King Monkey at this point. And they're so desperate to give him his banana. Or to give them his, to give him their bananas. Sorry. They're desperate. They have to. And so that's what they're doing. Okay. That's why later on they came in and said, oh, no, we 100% support Donald Trump. Donald Trump's our guy. We're totally in favor of him. Mitch McConnell himself says, yeah, no, of course, I'm definitely in favor of Donald Trump. In fact, I will vote for him if he becomes our nominee in 2024. I will support him. Weakness, absolute weakness. Very sad. Now, Gaetz responded to this, by the way. Here's what he said in a statement on Tuesday. He basically bashed them for their sniveling calls with Liz Cheney and that they disparaged Trump and the Republicans in Congress who fight for him. This is the behavior of weak men, not leaders. They deemed it incendiary or illegal to call Cheney and Kinzinger anti-Trump, a label both proudly advertise today. Now, look, here's the thing about this, okay? So what you have is, in private, establishment Republicans, McCarthy, McConnell, Scalise, horrified on January 6th. Of course, that this could happen. A lot of the people who were in the building at the time, scared. They feared for their lives. And then later on, again, they went and kissed the ring, kiss his ass. Why? It's because, well, for one, they're all authoritarians. They listen to their alpha, right? And secondly, they're trying to get power. They're trying to keep power. Now, here's the thing. Gaetz also wants power. So what we have in the Republican Party now is basically a civil war going on. You have people who are Trump supporters versus the establishment on the inside, all trying to jockey for power. That's what they're doing. And so, look, Kevin McCarthy is Speaker of the House, or he would be if the Republicans were in control. So if Republicans take the midterms, that's the guy who gets the gavel. Very coveted position. So now, of course, there's a lot of Republicans who would love to have McCarthy's position right now, including Matt Gaetz. Could you imagine? And so McCarthy, high value target. They want that speakership position. And now these tapes, they're ammunition. Oh, you didn't support Donald Trump. Because remember, the base loves Trump. And they rely on their voters in order to retain power. And so it is a power play. And this is perceived weakness on McCarthy. They're coming for him. And these tapes could possibly be his undoing. I guess it all depends on how much support there is publicly for Trump.